the Women in Business podcast. Insights from top financial professionals. Strategies to grow your practice. The future is female. It all begins here.
Welcome back to Gradient Women in Business. I'm your host, Jaclyn, and today we're talking about something that every advisor should have on their radar: how to market to, educate, and build trust with the younger generation of investors. And that's why I love this topic, Kailey, because as myself, I am a younger generation. And so I relate to a lot of this, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say. So without further ado, I am joined today by the wonderful Kailey Berenson from Bushka Wealth Management. Kailey, thank you for co-hosting this conversation with me, and I'm super excited to talk more. And Kailey, can you just share a little bit about yourself or, Bushka as a company?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely.
To start off. So I joined my family's firm back in 2023. So I started my career out in healthcare actually since I was 16 years old. And
Wow.
so, the last 10 years leading up to my transition into the financial world was spent as a nurse. So I was doing, eye surgery actually for 10
Wow.
years. And then my family recruited me to join the family business. And so I guess my turning point that really made me want to join was when my grandpa passed away.
Okay.
My grandpa was the one who handled all the finances in,
Mhm.
the household. And so my grandma had no idea what was going on when he passed away. She had no idea what they had in assets, liabilities. And so in a time of grieving, the love of her life, she was actually angry and resented him for the position that she
Yeah.
was left in. And luckily, the field that my brother and my mom are in, they were able to help her get out of a lot of those burdens. And that was, that's really what brought passion to me to enter this field,
Mhm.
just because there's so many women out there still in these situations,
Yes.
especially the older generation. And so I just want to be there to help them and advocate for them and hopefully avoid a lot of, the difficulties that people do go through and just make it as
Yes.
easy as a process as possible and give them confidence, that everything will be taken care of after they're gone.
Yeah.
So our firm is actually a 4-generation family-run firm. So
Woo woo.
exactly. My great grandpa started, in insurance in 1939, and then he recruited my grandpa, who recruited my mom, and my mom has recruited me and both of my brothers now. So we are all working together, one big happy
Yes.
family, and honestly, it has been a really great transition. And I do like working with family. I mean,
Okay.
there's pros and cons, but overall, I think it's brought us, a lot closer. And hopefully one day, one of my boys will join the family firm and make it a 5th generation.
That would be really cool.
It would be super cool. Yes, I would love that, but we'll see what their future holds.
Yeah.
So when it comes to services that we offer at Bushka, we do investment management, we have income planning, we also do tax planning. So we have an accountant on staff, and then we have partnered with Estate Guru to do estate planning. And then we also have agents in the office that work on life insurance as well as health insurance and then Medicare enrollment,
Mhm.
all those things. So we try to cover all of the bases when it comes to retirement, just because a lot of clients, when they do come to see us, that's what they mention is,
Yeah.
as cliche as it sounds, it's a one-stop shop, but they love that.
Yeah.
It makes it simple and easy for them.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and honestly, from your background too, it makes me think, how long did it take you to learn all this? I mean,
Yeah. Well,
there's
still
so
learning.
many things in Bushka Wealth Management, and
Mhm.
just you naming them right now, I'm a little overwhelmed. So,
Absolutely. It can
well,
be overwhelming.
yes, for sure. Well, Kailey, thank you for sharing it. I mean, sharing about your firm. It sounds like it's extremely successful and comprehensive in
Mhm.
a support that you provide. And why is this topic about the new generation important to you?
Yeah, so I think this topic is important because I think a lot of advisors they do hesitate when it comes to working with the younger generation
Mhm.
because they don't have, large portfolios yet.
Mhm.
And so I think that can be a roadblock for a lot of people, but if we can flip that mindset to, you know, um helping the younger generation retaining those assets. And even though we can help them build those portfolios, well, then down the road, it just grows and grows.
Yes.
Mhm.
And being that starting point, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And so let's start with the why. I mean, why
Mhm.
should advisors even spend time on their clients in their 20s and 30s when they may not have those investable assets like you're talking about?
Yeah, so I think that there's going to be two key reasons here. So first, it's going to be that relationship pipeline.
Mhm.
So young clients, they often are going to bring their parents and their grandparents into the mix some way, somehow. They
Absolutely.
need that support, and hopefully, those parents and grandparents do have assets as well. And so, if you can position yourself as that advisor who's guiding them and educating them, well, then you're quickly gaining those introductions and hopefully can build up your client base as well.
Mhm.
And then secondly, I think the next gen retention is very important as well because, as the younger generation does inherit those assets, well, you want to keep those assets with you and your practice
Yeah.
because then it's giving you more time, to compound and grow those assets. And, it's, a great business strategy in the long term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. It's not just about the dollars today.
Yes.
It's about securing future relationships and differentiating yourself as a family advisor, not just an investment manager.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess a story to relate to this topic is I onboarded a married couple.
Okay.
And so they came into our firm looking for a second opinion on their current portfolio. They had been working with an advisor for years and years. And so we did identify some weaknesses in the portfolio.
Hmm.
One of the main things was they were in really high cost investments. And they were so high cost that they were actually like draining the returns. And so if they wouldn't have made any change in their portfolio, they were going to run out of funds by the time they're in their 70s and they
Hmm.
were already retired. So like it's not like we can keep working and like changing
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So we came up with some strategies. We started to implement those strategies and they were so thankful for the help and the guidance that at their delivery and recap meeting they brought their daughters in so we could establish that relationship
Hmm.
right up front and get to know them as well, bring them up to speed on the plan, what to expect. And so fast forward to today, I have onboarded one of their daughters already.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm currently meeting with their other daughter,
Wow.
and I've opened up Roth IRAs for all of their granddaughters. So I
Amazing.
think that's just a great, example of how you can bring in the younger generation and how you can retain that wealth for the long term.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And being that starting point and being
Exactly.
that person that they go to from now on, right?
Right. Yes.
And one area where we can provide a lot of value to younger investors is around debt
Yes.
and college debt specifically to me, right?
Right.
So, Keely, how do you see advisors using debt education as a marketing tool?
Yeah, so I think debt is going to be one of the first real financial struggles that young people are going to face,
Uh
right?
huh.
Yeah, so if advisors, if they can step in, with practical education on credit cards, saving, budgeting, loans, then you can be their trusted guide, going forward. And then there's also going to be a marketing angle with this. I mean, you can have a workshop on debt management for young professionals, and
Okay.
you can invite your clients' kids.
That's a great idea.
Right. So you can make it approachable. You can use real examples. You can frame it as a life skill. It doesn't have to be, just helping the younger generation, but it also positions yourself, as that caring resource for the parents too.
Absolutely. And I love that idea that
Yeah,
and debt education is relatable to everyone,
absolutely.
which makes it an easy entry point to start conversations with people and who otherwise wouldn't think they're ready for an
Yeah,
advisor.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, within our firm, we do a lot of workshops when it comes to, prospecting new clients.
Hmm.
So, at least once a month, we have a workshop where we do a 60-minute kind of seminar teaching moment,
Okay.
and then we provide dinner to those prospects afterwards. But we also open it up to our client base. So we call it dinner for life. So if it's a topic of interest to them, then they're always invited to come.
Hmm.
And we've also started our Empowered by Bushka group this year. So that is our women focused group. And it's, we did it so we could help women gain, that knowledge and confidence that they need to have financial success
Hmm.
in their futures. These are a little bit different than our normal workshops because we do them over the lunch hour. So they're lunch and
Okay.
learns, and they're about 25 to 30 minutes. We do change the topic for every single one of them. And we do, invite our existing clients, but then we ask them to bring a friend. So it's still a
Yes.
prospecting opportunity. And
Yes.
overall, it's gone really great. I
Good.
mean, we've had every event full and we haven't really had any overhead when it comes to marketing it because we've only sent out emails and then
Mhm.
social media posts, and that fills it up. So there's no postage, no mailers, nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so overall, I mean, it's been rewarding to see all the women come together and also share their stories, their experiences,
Yeah.
and just want to work together and collaborate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
And
sorry.
no, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So when it comes to the younger generation, though, we have advisors that'll go to career fairs or business expos, and then also we have high schools that have reached out to us, to come and talk to their classrooms, and so we've had
Great.
advisors, yeah, go there and talk about saving and budgeting, and
Yeah.
also starting saving for retirement as early as possible. 'Cause
Yes.
that's a big thing, and I think young professionals don't do it early enough.
Yeah.
They don't see the value.
And there's also not education
That's
around
so
it.
true.
I
That's so
mean, you're
true.
talking about high schools, and I wish
Mhm.
someone came to my high school and taught me, because you're right. There's no classes to learn this stuff.
No.
And, even with you talking about your classes or your lunch classes or whatever,
Yeah.
it's a short amount of time where you don't lose attention spans.
Right.
And that, I think, is very valuable
Yes. Yep.
in this situation.
Keep it short and sweet and to the point, and people are happy.
Yes, absolutely. And free food. I mean,
Yes,
no
right?
one can go wrong.
Nope, can't complain there.
But student loans are one of the most pressing financial issues for many people right now.
Yeah.
What can advisors do in this space specifically?
Well, when it comes to, student loans specifically, advisors don't need to feel like they're an expert in this field to help provide some guidance.
Okay.
So really knowing what the basic resources are is going to be key. So, knowing what studentaid.gov is, that's going to provide all the information when it comes to, federal loan repayment plans. And then also understanding options like the income driven repayment plans as well, public service loan forgiveness, and then also refinancing. So that can go a long way.
Wow.
And just knowing a little bit about it when you have a client who comes in and knows nothing about it
Mhm.
can position you as an expert. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to be so thankful for that advice. And honestly, student loans, they're going to be a shared family issue. So
Mhm.
a lot of times, the parents and the grandparents are going to be helping in one way or another. And so if you can, position yourself as that, trusted professional helping
Mhm.
the whole family through this, well, then hopefully, the parents or the grandparents will come on board and trust you as well with
That's a
their
great
assets.
point. Great point, Kailey. And that's so true. And I think a student loan strategy,
Mhm.
webinar, or even
Yeah.
just a simple, like, downloadable guide
Yeah.
could really be amazing tool for
Mhm.
advisors and the clients specifically.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's a topic that's incredibly relevant, shareable, and will plant you firmly in the family's mind as their go-to advisor for financial help. Not only does it provide immediate value, but it also builds trust for future conversations about retirement,
Yes.
investing, and
Mhm.
estate planning, which is a
Right.
lot.
Yes, it is a lot. Yeah, a lot to think about. So
Yes.
having that advisor to put it all together really does help. And I think the best part is there are marketing resources out there.
Mhm.
So there are vendors like Horse's Mouth, that can provide content and resources on specific topics when it comes to student loans or college planning,
Mhm.
financial aid. I know we subscribe to Horse's Mouth, and they really
Okay.
do have some nice, short, sweet articles
Mhm.
that are easy to understand.
Okay.
They have charts and graphs and all the things. So, I mean, they always keep the content current as well. But, if you're looking for more personalized content, then reaching out to Luson Media,
Yes.
that's going to be huge because you guys can help create that custom, marketing material that's going to match their firm's brand and their approach.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly right. It's all about making, you know, those connections, but also just being the first call when families have financial
Yep,
questions. And this can be really a stepping stone in a long lasting advisory relationship, and especially
definitely.
with creativity and marketing.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you're talking about student loans, you're not just, addressing that immediate concern, but you're also planting the seed for those future financial conversations,
Hmm.
whether it's about retirement planning or estate planning or investment strategies. I mean, student loans are just one piece of the big picture here.
Yeah.
And by helping navigate that with the families, well, then you're setting that stage for that deeper and more meaningful relationship for the long term.
Yes, absolutely. And student loans is a huge topic right now. And the
Back to
interest
school.
rates, yes, back to school and the interest rates. And there's just so many different student loans out there that is also kind of a strategy to choose from in itself. And working with a financial advisor could save, a lot of these clients hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean,
Absolutely. Yep.
college is expensive.
It is, and it's getting more and more expensive.
Absolutely,
Worried when my
definitely.
kids go to school what it's gonna be like.
Yes, yes, and different, plans too. I mean, we're talking what's the college plan? The
The FAFSA?
Yeah, or the 501
Oh, 529s.
529s, yes, and there's
Yep.
just so many different areas that are helpful for college students and the younger
Yes.
generation too,
Mhm.
and trying to navigate how to use that money too.
Right. Yep, exactly.
So, all things, that are worth the conversation.
Yes, they really are.
So, as we wrap up this segment, advisors who understand the basics of student loans can quickly become invaluable to their clients. Whether it's providing resources, offering simple advice, or hosting educational events, which is a
Right.
great idea, there are plenty of opportunities here to not only help, but also expand your reach within families.
Absolutely.
Well, let's dive into kind of investing basics like Roth accounts and the power of starting early, like we talked about.
Yes.
How can advisors package these concepts to appeal the younger clients?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the key is going to be making sure that you are engaging that younger clientele, and storytelling is a great concept or a great, tool that you can use to position yourself. I mean, if you can use, content that's going to be relatable and show them, how things work in real life, I think that's really going to resonate with them more. So for example, you could have like a short reel or something and say, if you save $100 a month starting at age 22, well, this is what it's going to look like by the time you get to retirement age. And I think, having concrete examples like that is really going to open up people's eyes to, wow, maybe I should start earlier than later because it does pay off in the long run.
Yes.
Right. And I mean, advisors, they can turn these examples into content for social media.
Yeah.
They can do workshops at schools or universities. They can create TikTok videos, social media. I mean, it is a fantastic tool that does resonate with the younger generation. And platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that's where they're spending their most time anyways.
Yeah.
So if you can have, a well-crafted financial tip or example, that could go viral.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see them all the time.
Yes.
I mean, they're always on my reels.
Me
or
too. My For You
news feed.
page or whatever.
Right? I know, absolutely.
Well, and even like you said earlier, talking about Luson Media and using that for social media as well, because that's a great tool where you're not necessarily having to create all of this on your own.
Yep. And use you guys for that. And it saves so much time and energy, especially on our marketing staff. They love it.
Yes, for sure. Well, I love that idea, especially using platforms like the TikTok, which a lot of financial professionals might overlook. And you're absolutely right. Getting in front of students and younger generations at a place where they're already engaged can make a huge difference.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, and when it does come to practical tools, well, then you can look at Roth IRAs because these are going to be an excellent entry point for the younger clients. I mean, Roth IRAs, they're simple, they're easy to understand. And a lot of times they give that aha moment, when they do get the concept that, hey, I'm going to put this in, it's going to grow tax-free, but in retirement, I'm also going to take it out tax-free.
Yes.
That really resonates with a lot of people, and they want to take advantage of that. That's a really powerful concept. So also one thing to remember with the younger clientele is, they're just starting their careers.
Yes.
So when it comes to income thresholds on the Roth IRAs, this is a great opportunity for them to start young because it's really going to pay off in the future, because who knows where they're going to be career-wise in their 30s, even 40s, 50s. I mean, they might pass that income threshold and not have that opportunity anymore. And so I think working with the clients, educating them on that, and then just, having those regular meetings to see, where are you at in life right now? Does it make sense to maybe go to pre-tax now? Or do we stick with Roth? I think, that's really going to pay off in the future for them.
You're absolutely right. And here's another important angle for advisors: marketing. I mean, parents love to see their kids learning about Roth IRAs and the importance of saving early.
Yep.
And it shows that when you're adding value, not just as a parents to the parents' portfolio, but to the whole family financial legacy or literacy. It's not just about helping their kids get started with saving. It's about empowering them for the future and their future.
Exactly. Right. And I mean, parents are looking for advisors who are going to take the time to
Mhm.
educate, their kids, and they're going to help them build those strong financial habits. I mean, teaching, the younger clientele about the Roth IRAs or starting that conversation about the power of compounding. It sends that message that you're thinking about, their long-term strategy, their future well-being.
Mhm.
It also helps set the stage for, future relationships because they understand the value of early investing and they'll want
Mhm.
to come back to you for all of their financial needs, whether it's saving for their first home or, starting to save for retirement.
Absolutely. And it's
Mhm.
all about building a relationship that can grow
Right.
with them over time. The sooner that you can plant those seeds and
Mhm.
show them the benefits of salary or saving and
Yep.
smart investing strategies, the more likely they are to come to you
Yep.
when they're ready to take the next step in their financial journey. And one thing I just want to mention too is they could be bringing in a spouse one day as well.
They could, yes. And
So,
who knows what that
yes,
spouse has and what their family has.
absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's an incredible opportunity to differentiate yourself from your competition as well. I mean, some advisors, they might shy away from it, but it is the perfect way that you can create that loyal long-term relationship.
Absolutely, exactly. And I mean, let's think about the ripple effect, right? The more you help
Mhm.
clients or younger clients understand concepts like Roth IRA and the
Mhm.
power of early saving, the more likely they are to pass that knowledge onto their peers,
Right?
their families,
Yep.
and their own children one day,
Agreed.
spouse
Yep.
included.
Right, absolutely.
So it's a legacy of financial literacy, and that's something that can just last for generations and years.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, the power of starting early, it's not just about helping that individual, but it's
Mhm.
about creating that culture of financial literacy. And planting those seeds, it really does spread throughout families, communities, and even generations. So it's an investment not only for their future, but also for your future as the advisor and your practice as well.
Yeah, very well said, Kaylee. So I mean, in wrapping up, for advisors looking to connect with younger clients, using Roth IRAs
Mhm.
is an educational tool
Right.
combined with social media outreach and community engagement.
Hmm.
It is a powerful strategy and kind of a two-step one, right?
Absolutely.
It's all about positioning yourself as a forward thinking, proactive advisor who's committed to helping clients and their families and make smart financial decisions early on.
Absolutely.
So, we've covered a lot of ground so far.
We have, yes.
I mean, this is an interesting topic. We're talking about debt, student loans, the importance of starting early with
Right.
savings. But when working with young investors, what else should advisors look to add to their toolkit to really help them build a solid financial foundation?
Yeah, so I think covering the basics like we kind of have already when it comes to budgeting and saving, that's
Mhm.
always important. But then a couple other things that you should add to that young investor toolkit. Number one, emergency fund basics. I
Yes.
mean, that's so important. And I think many young individuals don't realize how, significant that they do need to have an emergency fund
Yes.
because honestly, once they're out in the real world, it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can relate.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Anything wrong with that car?
Yep,
I'm
exactly. Yeah, when it comes to car breakdowns or medical bills or even job loss, like you
Yes.
want to make sure that you're covered for, at least 3 to 6 months of expenses
Mhm.
because you can really derail, your investments if you have to dip into that, or other saving strategies that you might have. So the key point is just having an emergency fund is going to be foundational in that
Mhm.
toolkit as well. Insurance literacy is also really important, especially when it comes to life insurance.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of young individuals also think, I don't need life insurance. That's something that I'll need down the road.
Mhm.
But what they don't understand is the younger and healthier that you are, the better, premiums you're going to get.
Okay.
And so if they can lock in those premiums when they're younger, well, then in the long term, you have lower premiums, especially when it comes to the term insurance.
Mhm.
And then they're also covered when they do start to, have families and,
Mhm.
acquire houses and all those other types of assets
Yeah.
down the road. But, they may face higher premiums or health insurance issues as they get older. So they might be insurable later in life. So I think it's important to definitely cover that basic with them as well.
Mhm.
And lastly, for the toolkit, I would add employer benefits.
Okay.
So we talked about, there's not a whole lot of education, in high school and even college
Yeah.
when it comes to starting your retirement savings. when we start new jobs, like there's also still not a lot of education.
Absolutely.
Like HR is not like, oh, here's your 401k. This is what a Roth, this is what pre-tax means.
Yes.
Here's all your investments, like giving you advice on all that. I
Mhm.
mean, it's kind of like figure it out yourself.
Uh-huh.
And so I think talking about that and, helping people understand that you need to start saving for your retirement, especially if they offer a match. You want to take advantage of that match because you don't want to leave free money on the table.
Yeah.
Right. And, just explaining the difference between that Roth and that pre-tax and what that really means
Mhm.
and what situation they're at in life right now. Like you want to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And make your money, work harder for you and
Exactly.
starting out doing that because
Yep.
even in a fresh career, you're working really, really hard at that job.
You
So
are.
let your money work for you.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yep.
and I love this, Kailey. It's not about just managing their money, it's about teaching them how to manage their finances efficiently, and
Right.
teaching is the
Yep.
bottom line.
It is.
So, advisors who embrace the role of educator really set themselves apart, and they're the ones who become trusted partners throughout a client's financial journey.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're offering, the education, you're not just giving advice, you're empowering, these young
Mhm.
investors to take control of their financial futures.
Yeah.
And the more that you can help them understand these foundational concepts, well, the more likely they are to come back to you
Yes.
and, get additional advice down the road and tell
Mhm.
their family and friends about it.
Absolutely. And here's the best part for advisors, I think. The marketing play here is a simple but incredibly effective.
Yep.
I mean, you can offer a young investor starter kit as a PDF download, which
Mhm.
includes all these tips on building an emergency fund, understanding insurance, and maximizing employer benefits.
Mhm.
You could also host a family financial night where you would walk through these tools with clients and their kids. And of course, sharing checklists or quick guides on LinkedIn
Mhm.
is a great way to top off mind with the audience.
Yeah.
And these tools they don't have to be complex. They
No.
can be easy. Even
Yep.
a simple checklist or guide can demonstrate your expertise while also positioning you as the go-to resource
Mhm.
for this financial literacy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the simpler the better in the long
Yeah,
run.
absolutely.
And these resources, they give you that chance again to be that trusted advisor from the very beginning. It
Mhm,
shows that you're not just interested in managing their wealth, but that you're, educating them for the long haul.
mhm.
And the more that you provide that value added content, well, then whether it's a free guide or a quick checklist like you had
Mhm.
mentioned, then people are more likely again to refer their family and their friends back to you. It makes you more memorable. It sets you
Yeah.
aside from the competition.
Yeah, and let's not forget the more that you provide these types of tools,
Yep.
the more likely you are to earn the trust of the next generation of investors. You're showing that you're thinking ahead and genuinely invested in their financial success,
Right.
which is a relationship that they'll carry on to them in the future. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what the financial advising is all about, really, is that
Yep.
relationship.
That's exactly right. I mean, in summary here, building that young investor toolkit, it goes beyond just, saving and investing,
Hmm.
emergency funds, insurance literacy, employer benefits. And these are all essential pieces of, putting that puzzle together and making young investors, have, smarter decisions
Yeah.
now, setting them up for that success down the road. And if you position yourself as that educator, well, then you're building that trust and that loyalty and the long-term relationships. And as an added bonus, you get to showcase your expertise in simple, easy to share marketing tools that keep you at the top of their mind.
Absolutely. All
Mhm.
right. So let's zoom out and talk about kind of the big picture here.
Yeah.
All this focus on younger clients, why is it worth the time and effort for advisors? I mean, how does it benefit them long term?
Yeah, so I think it's about building sticky relationships
Okay.
because honestly, the payoff is going to be huge. When you take the time to sit down and educate your clients' children, it's going to create that ripple effect that is going to strengthen your overall client
Hmm.
base. It's a smart strategy because you're going to educate the next generation.
Hmm.
You're going to strengthen that loyalty with the parents. And then when you're working with the kids, you're showing the parents that you're invested in the family and the long term, financial health of all of them.
Yeah.
You're not just focusing on the wealth today, but you're positioning yourself as somebody who's looking out for the financial future of the entire family. And so, having that trust building move, it's hard to beat,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so if we talk about, the heirs themselves, building that relationship for the next gen heirs
Mhm.
before the money is transferred,
Yeah.
then you have the money with you before it even moves in. A lot of advisors only meet with heirs, after they've inherited the money. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's a little bit too late to the
Yeah.
game because if you can already have that established relationship as their advisor, well, now you have a huge advantage.
Mhm.
I mean, you're the one who's built up that rapport with the heirs, as that inheritance does come through, then they're more likely to keep the assets with your firm because they trust you, they know you, and you've already demonstrated what value you bring to their family.
Mhm.
And also, when you focus on the younger clients, you differentiate yourself from the other advisors who might only be focusing on high net worth
Yes.
individuals.
Yes.
Those advisors, they're working with those clients who are already established.
Mhm.
And so, if they can build those relationships with the younger investors, well, now you're future proofing your practice because if you're getting in early, then you're building that strong relationship that's going to continue to grow with their wealth as that wealth grows.
Yes. I mean, it's about building relationships
Yes.
for the long game and long term here.
Hmm.
And when you're working with younger clients, every one of them is an opportunity to build a relationship not just with them, but with their entire family. And it's
Yeah,
like a doorway to an entire household of potential referrals, future clients, and lasting relationships.
I agree completely.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a bit brand building
Mhm.
for the long game too.
Yeah.
And every young investor you help is not just one relationship, it's a doorway again to everything. And as those younger clients build wealth, the relationship can grow with them, which is kind of the main topic here.
Yeah.
And as they bring in their parents, their siblings, and their own future families, you've created a multi generational business model, really.
Absolutely.
And you can't just buy this kind of loyalty.
Nope. No, you can't. I mean, and it's more than just brand building. I mean, it's about positioning yourself as that forward thinking advisor. And when you're helping, young clients understand these things like the Roth IRAs, the
Mhm.
student loan strategies, and the basics of budgeting, well, now you're demonstrating that you're not just focused on the here and now.
Mhm.
You're looking ahead, you're helping them set up their future for success. And then positioning that, is going to be key when clients eventually start talking to their parents about their financial advisors or when they start talking to their friends about it, who may be looking for an advisor. You've already established yourself as somebody who's not only managing their money, but you're also educating them on how to manage their futures.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
they're very coachable too.
They are, yes,
So,
they
I
are.
mean, when you work with young clients, you're tapping into a new generation of investors, and
Mhm.
more importantly, you're planting the seeds for future generations.
Yes, I agree. I think it all comes down, to education, relationship building. When you provide that genuine value, then you're helping them understand these complex financial topics,
Mhm.
and it's going to make, those topics relevant to their lives. You're positioning yourself, as that trusted resource, and that type of loyalty. It leads to multi generational success, and you can't buy that. It's
Mhm.
best for both your clients and yourself.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, Kaylee. Well
Yeah.
said. So, advisors who focus on building relationships with younger clients are planting the seeds for the future of their practice. And what's the best part? They're doing it in a way that is deeply authentic,
Yes.
one that not only helps the next generation and builds a legacy of financial literacy and long term trust. And Kaylee, this has been such a wonderful, meaningful, insightful conversation. And I appreciate this topic. Thank you so much for so many practical ways advisors can market and help the next generation.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I mean, I think if we can shift our mindsets as advisors to they don't have enough money yet to this is my future client base, well, then I think they're going to find those incredible opportunities to grow their practice and solidify, those family relationships for decades to come.
Yes, yes. And start early, like you said.
Yes.
Teach and education. And I love this. So thank you for everyone for listening to Gradient Women in Business. If you found this valuable, share it with another advisor and help us spread these conversations. Until next time, I'm Jaclyn. Keep growing, keep mentoring, and keep building the future of our profession. Thank you, Kaylee.
Thank you.